My 30F best friend, 27M, came out as a furry. I laughed. Now he is mad.
Me, 30F, and George, 27M, met 5 years ago whole attending the same acting class, and we quickly became friends. We have lots of common interests, such D&D, gaming, reading, regular couple of nerd friends hanging out. Most of all, we bonded because we had difficult lives. George lost his father when he was 7. He was seriously bullied during childhood. Lives in a pretty conservative family that had a hard time accepting him as a gay man. Now he has a great degree, a good job in STEM, and generally things are better for him, but he has some healing to do. Me too. And something else we have in common is using jokes as a coping mechanism. So our dialogues are always full of playful insults. We prank each other. We often pretend to quarrel on things. Last Sunday he calls me telling me he has something really serious to tell me, and I was a bit worried.
We went out for drinks and he looks in my eyes and tells me deadly serious, I have a confession to make. I have realized I am a furry. He was dead serious, and as I told you, we prank each other a lot, so my first reaction was to laugh, like really, really hard. Then I noticed he was silent. I stopped and asked him if he was joking. He told me, "What do you think?" and left. He was the one driving. I called him several times and he did not answer, and I ended up walking home. The next day he finally answers the phone and starts yelling at me that the situation gave him PTSD from when he came out as gay to his family. But it is even worse, you were laughing. When I could finally speak, I told him, I am so sorry I hurt you, but you can't compare being gay with being a furry, and he told me is the same thing, called me a bigot and refused to meet me.
Told me he is done with me. Okay, so I feel really bad George was hurt by my laughs, but I honestly think that being gay and dressing like an animal are experiences that can be compared with one another. No man or woman has ever been killed, worked or imprisoned for being a furry. I want to apologize and fix our relationship, but I am not going to negotiate my opinion on that. What do you think I should do?
Oh God, I'm sure it is all over this page, but for anyone wondering, being gay and being a furry are two very vastly different things.
I mean, I don't blame you. It's a curveball to hear in that situation. I was always under the impression that furry culture is like a fetish culture. And if my friend told me he had something serious to confess, I am into BDSM and feet, I'd probably laugh as well.
Did he swish his tail as he left?
I probably would have had the same reaction, TBH. How did he expect you to react to him coming out as a furry LMAO? Is he normally so dramatic? Storming off, yelling at you, calling you a bigot, calling off your friendship over a misunderstanding? Not to mention equating being a furry with being gay? This all just seems so over the top. If this is out of character for him, I'd give him some time to calm down and then reach out again and clarify that you really did think, based on past pranks between you two, that he was joking. Otherwise I would probably just walk away from this friendship. He sounds exhausting, lol.
If you try shaking a bag of catnip, will he come back?
In your defense, that is pretty funny. I'm laughing now and I don't even know the guy.
I get that he's probably very, very sensitive about situations like this BC of his past trauma. I also get that you're human, and I think most PPL would have at least had a chuckle in response. Emo, it sounds like a special friendship worth trying to salvage. And in my experience, there's nothing like a handwritten apology and some flowers that shows how much someone cares. I feel like it's worth a shot to just try validating his emotions and showing some support and see where it goes.
On all levels except physical, I am a wolf.
I don't think being a furry and being gay is along the same axis with regards to marginalization in general. But he's a furry and gay. In fact, a fairly large portion of the furry community is queer. So I understand why your dismissive reaction made him draw parallels to coming out as gay. Furries are often ostracized, so I'm sure it must really suck to mention it to your friend and have them laugh in your face. I'm not a furry, but I don't really see the big deal tbh. Listen, George. I am sorry that my knee-jerk reaction was to laugh. I am realizing now how difficult it was to come to me and reveal such a private bit of your identity. I am glad to be considered close enough to confide that in. And I wish you would give me another chance to be your friend.
I think laughter is a fair reaction to that.
This is hilarious. On another note, furry or not, the guy seems volatile and unstable. I would start distancing myself, and if he thinks I'm a bigot, then so be it. LMAO. He felt the need to come out with his fetish or hobby, depending on the person, to you, and got mad when you didn't take it seriously? If the friendship is important to you, it's probably worth it to reach out to him and let him know that you unequivocally accept him as a furry. You may also want to let him know that while you didn't mean to offend him at all, he may need to shift his perspective a little bit when connecting his being a furry his experience of his sexual orientation. He may feel absolutely right as a furry, like it was meant to be, but it's still much more of a choice than one's sexuality is. Maybe even remind him that you guys prank each other a lot, and there was precedent for you to think that maybe he was making a joke. If nothing else, you should apologize sincerely for what you now realize was a very poor, if understandable, reaction. I've spent a decent amount of time with members of the furry community, though I'm not a member myself, and I can say that one of the overarching traits that many people in that community share is the ability to not take themselves too seriously. Hopefully your friend gets to the point where he realizes that someone laughing and then accepting him is actually a good, albeit surprised, response. You could have laughed at him and cut him out of your life, or not laughed at all and cut him out of your life. Instead, he's the one who walked away, cutting off any opportunity for clarification or elaboration on both your parts. Maybe invite him to talk with you? Tell him you'd like to hear more about what it means to him to be a furry. I'd apologize for laughing and ask him if he would be willing to talk. Send a card, chocolates or something. Then, ask him what about being a furry is so deep and important to him. What part of it seems so central that he needs to come out to you about it? I would not explain what you think of being gay versus being furry. Let it go. Ask him what is going on for him. Clearly he thought this was a huge thing to reveal. Why? Reassure him you are friends and you are not judging.
Why is your friend telling you his kinks? I'm not sure I understand this.
Your reaction was much better than he'll encounter in the real world. He better thicken his skin if that's how he wants to live. First, let go of the argument over semantics. He's hurt, bottom line. And that's all you should be concerned about. If you care about him, apologize again and ask him what you need to do to make it up to him. Your friendship and Reddit are no places to debate all of the things he said out of disappointment, shame, embarrassment, hurt, all of the things you likely made him feel by having an out loud gut reaction instead of reading the room first.
WTF is a furry?
Find better friends. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.